Isaac's values I learned from my father.
My father has dedicated his life to being there for his family as well as for being there for others. He worked hard for his wife and children to feed and clothe us and keep a roof over our heads when we were all younger. He had to work long, hard hours for us at jobs he did not necessarily want to be doing. He has been with volunteer EMS for as long as I can remember, helping others as well. And now that he no longer has 4 children under his roof to feed, he is able to enjoy working full time in the career field he loves with a paid EMS service, helping others while still running our local EMS service. Throughout my speech, you will hear me refer to the term EMS. This term refers to Emergency Management Service. You will also hear me refer to the term EMT. This term refers to Emergency Medical Technician. I feel I'm credible to speak on this topic today because I have 34 years experience watching and learning from my father. I learned many values from my father throughout my life that I hope to carry over to my sons throughout their lives. Today I will tell you about 3 of the core values I have learned from my father over the years. I will be speaking of how I have learned from my father to make my career something I love, how I have learned to be there for my family as well as for others, and how I have learned to give my family all that I am. The first value I would like to share with you is to make my career something I love. My father worked long hours to provide for his family financially, sometimes more than 30 hours straight. He would come home dead tired, get maybe 2 or 3 hours of sleep, and go right back to work. I can recall an occasion when my father came home from work with an injury he sustained while working out in the oil field. He had fell from a large oil tank and injured his leg. His entire leg was black from bruising. Rather than sitting at home on a minimum workers' compensation salary, he knew he had to be out there getting all the hours he could at full pay for his family. So he hobbled back to work for us. My father worked hard in order to put himself in a situation where he could now enjoy a career that he loves. My father earned his EMT license when I was just a child so he could help others with the local volunteer EMS. And now he has been able to use those credentials and his vast years of EMS experience to carry over into a full-time career in the field that he loves. The second value I would like to share with you today is how I learned to be there for my family as well as for others. I learned from my father what it means to be able to balance time between my wife, children, aunts, and uncles, as well as making time for others. I recall my father taking me to the Astrodome one year when I was young to see off-road trucks and dirt bikes. I can also recall sitting and watching movies with all of us in the living room while he would eat dinner at his TV tray. I also remember my father walking across our property to make a time to spend with his parents, playing cards or helping them with tasks around their house. I learned from my father that it is possible to help others in an official role as an EMT or by simply helping an elderly woman light the pilot light on her gas water heater or by helping a friend move. The third and most important value I learned from my father is to give your family all that you are. I learned from my father not to be a part-time father or husband. I learned when the workday is done to be home with the family, not out at a bar drinking when a man should be home every night with his family. I also learned the physical and mental demands of being a good father and husband. Fighting through physical injury as well as fatigue and worrying about bills and finances, as well as thinking of ways and preparing to spend time with each family member. Today I have told you about three of the main core values I've learned from my father throughout my life. Making my career something I love, being there for my family as well as for others, and giving my family all that I am. These are some of the main values I hope to pass on to my sons throughout their lives. My father has spent his whole life providing for or helping others, and I am sure no one will ever be able to put into words what this has meant for the ones that he has touched in his life.